For this video, we are going to change perspective from Universe 7 to Universe 6, and we will see the battle between the legendary assassin Hit going up against the strongest monk warrior from Universe 10, Murishim. So without further ado, let's begin. Before being teleported to the tournament, Universe 6 team established their battle divisions according to individual strengths and tactics. The Saiyans, Caulifla, Kava, and Kale, having trained and fought together extensively, will operate as a single squad. Similarly, the Namekians, Pilina, and Saonel formed another unit. Mageta, Botamo, and Dr. Rota compose a versatile squad, able to switch between offense and support depending on the circumstances. Finally, Frost and Hit, whose styles were more solitary, will fight independently. Given that the tournament was a free-for-all, Hit determined that splitting the team against multiple opponents would be too risky. Instead, focusing on one team at a time will reduce unnecessary hazards. As the tournament began, Universe 6 waited, observing the movements of nearby enemies. Fortunately, Team 9 immediately engaged Universe 7, simplifying the decision of who to attack first. As the leader, Hit ordered his teammates to engage the Closet Frets, the team from Universe 10. Team 10, led by the seasoned soldier Rubalt, quickly assessed the battlefield and respond efficiently to the approaching Universe 6 fighters. The clash between the teams erupted without delay. Murishim, fearless and aggressive, charged headlong into combat, demanding to face Universe 6's strongest warrior. Hit met him directly, immediately exploiting the reckless momentum of the warrior monk. Activating his time stop ability, Hit struck multiple vital points on Murishim's body with lethal precision. Time resumed. Murishim froze mid-motion, standing unmoving. Hit confirmed that he had inflicted what would be mortal wounds on an ordinary opponent, but instinct and centuries of experience warned him this was far from over. Sure enough, instants later, Murishim's body moved again. All his mortal wounds instantly disappeared. Then he spoke. "I have no idea how you did that, but doesn't matter. I can feel it. You are the strongest of your team, aren't you?" Hit remained expressionless, analyzing whether his opponent was immortal or simply extremely resilient. Murishim formally introduced himself. Hit, cautious yet calculating, quickly discerned that Murishim was straightforward and sincere, no hidden motives. Hit responded in kind. "Hit, let's have a proper deathmatch. One-on-one, no interruptions," Murishim declared. Hit detected no falsehood in the words. Though unusual in a chaotic tournament, he could not complain. He preferred one-on-one combat after all. The legendary assassin accepted the challenge. "Excellent," Murishim yelled with excitement. The monk prepares to combat as if his previous wounds had never existed in the first place. Hit's face remained impassive, but internally he recognized the monk would be far trickier than he had anticipated. The warrior monk powered up and charged. Hit responded, meeting him in close quarters. Both fighters displayed exceptional martial prowess. Murishim's style was aggressive, to the point of recklessness, sacrificing defense to overwhelm his opponent. His relentless assaults forced Hit onto the defensive. Yet, the assassin did not rely solely on conventional combat. Using his tides of time, Hit phased into his personal dimension, rendering himself intangible while leaving an illusory form for Murishim to attack. From this intangible state, Hit could not strike physically except with his Phantom Blast, capable of bypassing dimensions. With a precise fist motion, he launched an invisible, deadly ki wave aimed at Murishim's heart. Confused by the intangibility, Murishim did not react, and yet, as if nothing had happened, his body instantly recovered. "So you are one of those with the eccentric techniques," Murishim remarked. His wounds vanished again. "Honestly, I prefer the excitement of a straightforward fight, trading blows and blood, fighting to our heart's full satisfaction. No matter," he continued, "I'm sure eventually you will drop your tricks and fight properly." He'd maintained his stoic expression, analyzing not just Murishim's combat style, but even his words. "I'm sorry to disappoint," He'd said quietly, "but my methods had never failed me, and they won't now." Murishim smiled. "That's the confidence of a true warrior. Now, let's stop the talking and fight." And fight they did. The monk charged, repeating his relentless assaults. He defended initially, then struck lethally when openings appeared. Murishim's regeneration meant that injuries disappeared instantly, but He'd noticed how little energy the monk spent on healing. The assassin had two options: identify a weakness or overwhelm him with sheer force. He'd chose the latter. Stopping time, he pushed Murishim back and infused himself with godly ki. Time rose again, and He'd delivered a barrage of strikes to Murishim's vital points. Time resumed. Unlike before, Murishim fell to the ground, seemingly affected. He'd readied a ki attack to finish him, only for Murishim's body to flicker with power and release a massive ki explosion. When the dust cleared, Murishim stood unharmed, though He'd sensed his opponent's energy had been heavily drained. "You are a strong Universe 6 warrior," Murishim said. "Even if my body falls, my spirit will continue. As Universe 10 representative, I will win this battle." Kit's expression remained unchanged. "I have a duty to my universe and my teammates. I will crush your spirit if necessary then." The monk charged again. He'd adjust his stance, meeting him in melee combat. Murishim unleashed a relentless offensive, but his adaptability allowed him to defend more efficiently. A broad smile spread across Murishim's face, pure excitement. The assassin behind his impassive mask felt a flicker of amusement. The monk's passion reminded him of the science seal for battle. The fight continued, long and unrelenting. Blending physical strikes and ki techniques, Murishim adapted mid-battle, evening the contest. He'd, unwilling to prolong the fight for long, used tides of time strategically, phasing out at the exact moment Murishim strikes would land, then returning tangible to counterattack. Then, with surgical precision, He'd struck Murishim in the head multiple times. No visible damage appeared, but the monk staggered with a bleeding ear. "I just released thousands of tiny ki needles into your ear and brain's left side," He'd stated. "The fact that you're not screaming shows discipline. But for how long can your body and mind endure?" Murishim laughed. "I've trained under far worse torture. This is nothing but a scratch." The bleeding vanished. Murishim regained balance, posturing for combat. "We will see about that," He'd replied. Stopping time once more, He'd pierced Murishim's ears and eyes, finishing with a powerful palm strike to the chest. Time resumed. Murishim twisted in pain, but his body restoration prevented death. Hit's focus shifted. This time, he aimed to break Murishim's spirit rather than kill him. Blinded, battered, and in agony, Murishim screamed, not just in pain but in defiance. Hit continued the merciless assault, breaking his throat, rupturing organs, and targeting the most sensitive area. Despite recovering from each strike, Murishim's mind endured phantom pain from previous wounds. Fatigue and mental strain began to accumulate. Eventually, he released a massive ki wave to force Hit back, finally taking a brief respite. "I am thankful," Murishim said, his voice calm despite the pain. "This suffering is proof of how much I still need to improve. Hit of Universe 6, thank you for exposing the flaws in my being." Hit remained silent. Assessing his opponent, Murishim still had plenty of fight left, but Hit noted the energy advantage was clearly his. At this pace, victory will be his. "It's been an entertaining fight," Murishim continued, "but now I will stop fighting for myself. I will fulfill my duty as a warrior of my universe." He shifted his expression to neutral, pressing his palms together in a monk's gesture. Golden light began to radiate from his body, growing ever brighter until a blinding flash forced Hit's eyes to adjust. When his vision cleared, Hit saw Murishim glowing with golden energy, his expression blank but commanding. Hit sensed a sharp surge in his opponent's power and adjusted his own accordingly. As he prepared to strike, Murishim appeared almost instantly before him, the sudden flash of light released by this move catching Hit off guard. The Golden Monk unleashed a flurry of crushing strikes. Hit responded by stopping time, delivering a killing ki blast directly to Murishim's chest, leaving a hole in his glowing torso. Time resumed, but Murishim did not acknowledge the gaping wound. Instead, he countered immediately with a wave of golden light, traveling at blinding speed, giving Hit almost no time to react. Hit attempted to block the attack with his arms, but the wave bypassed his defense entirely. His body was engulfed, his internal organs taking the brunt of the assault. With lightning-fast reflexes, he protected his most vital points with ki, quickly analyzing the attack. Astonishingly fast, capable of bypassing physical defenses. Its raw offensive power was impressive, though not as great as he had expected. Where physical defense failed, raw ki could compensate. Murishim did not waste any instant. He launched another barrage of light wave attacks. Hit improvised a ki barrier, successfully fending off the assault. The Golden Monk shifted tactics, flying over Hit's position and positioning himself as if to stomp down from above. A massive golden foot appeared, mirroring Murishim's strike. The foot slammed toward Hit with enough force to shake the arena. Had it connected, the barrier would have been shattered. Instinctively, Hit stopped time to evade. Closing the distance, Hit launched a counter-attack. Murishim struck again, but Hit used an after-image illusion of himself to mislead him. The assassin successfully lands his attacks. Murishim staggered briefly, but his resilience was staggering. Clearly, the monk's current state rendered previous tactics ineffective. This had become a battle of attrition. Hit knew no one possessed infinite stamina. If Murishim continuously regenerated and fought, eventually his mind or body would falter. Could Hit outlast him? Even his own reserves were decreasing. For the remaining of the fight, Hit adopted a methodical approach, forced Murishim to expend energy while dealing precise, lethal damage while using the minimal amount of energy. A monumental gamble requiring skill, experience, and patience. The first fight of the tournament already pushed the legendary assassin to his limits, a testament to the caliber of the fighters. As the clash escalated, both fighters unleashed ever greater power. Murishim's energy began to wane, while Hit's reserves remained relatively intact. The gamble was paying off. Sensing the urgency, Murishim unleashed a final assault, summoning countless golden hands to attack the assassin. Hit attempted to dodge, but the relentless pursuit made evasion nearly impossible. He quickly assessed the situation. Stopping time would not allow him to escape, while intangibility would give Murishim an opportunity to recover. Instead, he relied on a new technique. With a precise hand gesture, Hit activated his ability. Murishim sent the golden hands crashing toward him, but Hit dodged each strike individually with apparent impressive reaction. In truth, Hit had not sped up, Murishim had been slowed. Hit's time lag ability allowed him to slow his opponent's personal time, a technique developed for the tournament to support direct combat. This ability came at a cost. The stronger the opponent and the greater the extent he slowed time, the more energy it consumed. Hit now had two options: outlast Murishim by slowing him just enough to dodge every attack, forcing him to waste energy, a risky choice if Hit's own stamina faltered first, or slow Murishim almost to a standstill, then use a single overwhelming key attack to hold him out of the arena, securing a clear victory. The second option presented a definite outcome. He considered the possibility of Murishim's allies intervening, but a glance at the battlefield assured him he was effectively covered. Hit executed the plan, cranking up time lag to near its limit, almost freezing Murishim in place. A single key strike could now send him out of bounds. For the first time, Murishim fought back against the time manipulation, unleashing raw ki to weaken Hit's control. The battle became a true struggle. Murishim closed the distance slowly, absorbing his golden hands to recover energy and overwhelm Hit. Both expended massive energy, though Murishim burned through his far more rapidly. Hit only needed one more misstep, one final reckless expenditure of energy to seize victory. Hit waited, close enough for Murishim to attack recklessly, but distant enough to evade. While time lag was active, he could not stop time or become intangible for a few instants even after ending it. He would have to rely on his normal reaction alone. The moment arrived. At melee range, Hit cancelled time lag, carefully observing Murishim's next move. Suddenly, a blinding flash stronger than any before erupted from the monk, disorienting Hit. Murishim, who had relied on no tricks until now, introduced an unexpected element, voluntary or incidental, Hit could not know. A golden punch struck Hit's face, followed by another and another. Murishim unleashed a relentless barrage, each blow creating a flash of light. Hit forced his focus into his ki, regaining composure mid-assault. Dodging a single strike gave him the opening to counterattack with a ki wave technique, ripping a hole in Murishim's chest. The monk ignored it, pressing his relentless offense. Hit blocked and parried just long enough to stop time for a fraction of a second. Appearing behind Murishim, he unleashed invisible ki waves at the monk's joints, taking away his ability to move before finishing with a devastating phantom wave to the head. Murishin, with his apparent immortality, had no choice but to pour immense energy into healing. Kneeling and motionless, Murishin restored himself, only to collapse immediately afterward. He had reached his limit, unconscious, but at least alive. The best of two bad outcomes. After an exceptionally grueling first fight, Hit emerged victorious, only tasked now with finishing his opponent. As bad taste is to killing someone while they are not even conscious, it is not something that Hit shy away from, especially under these circumstances. Suddenly, a whistling sound approached, rapidly growing louder. Hit sensed multiple key signatures converging. A powerful gust of wind pushed him back suddenly, distancing him from Murishin. Hit immediately identified the attacker, a distant figure flying rapidly toward him, unleashing a relentless barrage of ki blasts. The assassin dodged the first wave, but there were simply too many. Wasting energy on constant evasive maneuvers was a risk he could not afford. Just as Murishin was reinforced by his allies, so too did Hit receive backup. Leaping in front of him, Botamo used his massive body as a living shield, effortlessly absorbing every ki blast without so much as a scratch. He was not alone. Dr. Rota and Mayeta joined the fray. The doctor gestured to Hit, offering a chance to retreat and recover, while Mayeta positioned himself at the forefront, preparing to confront the incoming threat. Retold advanced on the front line, and Master Zirkor flanked Murishin to ensure his safety. The stage was set for a new clash, Metal Man Mayeta versus the seasoned leader of Universe 10, Retold.